Yeah, it's just that what happened in the group, a lot of people asked me during the last 2 weeks, actually, what was the difference between some cryptocurrencies. And they wanted to know especially what was the difference between Bitcoin and Ethereum. I know that some people were also looking for tips in the sense that they don't know which one they should buy, why they should go for Ethereum, why they should go for Bitcoin. And we see that in general, people are really like separated. So some people are for Bitcoin, some people are for Ethereum. So that's why basically I asked Ashley just to tell us actually what was that difference between those two cryptocurrencies. And yeah, just so we can learn more. And like, if you have any questions at any time, you can just ask her or just write it in the chat. So Ashley, I'll let you go.
Awesome. Thank you, Bryce. Hopefully everybody can hear me and can see me okay. I'm really excited to be sharing this information with you guys today. Let's take a look here. I'm just going to share my screen so you guys can see. Okay, perfect. Okay, so I think you guys, let's see.
By the way, just something I want to mention while you're doing that. Last weekend, there was the event about the cryptocurrencies that Ashley was hosting actually. So she has great background with cryptocurrencies. So it's awesome. Is everything okay?
I can't see if it'll let me. I'm always used to using Zoom. I don't use Google
Oh
Meet as
yeah.
much.
Mhm.
Yes. Okay, it may not
You see
let
it at the
me.
bottom? Mhm. At the bottom right of your screen?
Preferences aren't set up at the moment. So, yeah, how about now? Can you see it okay?
Yeah, I can see your screen.
Okay, perfect. So I'll just go over some information. Not sure if everybody's already into cryptocurrency and whatnot, but I'll go over just a little brief and then I'll go right into the main topic, of course. So for those that may not know me or aren't familiar with my work, my name is Ashley Wright. I am the CEO, the founder of The Right Success and Study Crypto. So I do have my own businesses. So with The Right Success, more so focused on motivational speaking, personal development coaching, just helping people become the best version of themselves. And then, of course, my other business, Study Cryptos, is focused on cryptocurrency education. So I do teach people about the amazing industry of crypto and blockchain as well. And I got involved in crypto back in 2016. Really exciting time. Believe it or not, I actually heard about it through my parents. We do a lot of different businesses and everything like that. And so I heard them talking about Bitcoin and online wallets. And I'm like, what is that? And so literally I decided to jump in, created my first Bitcoin or online wallet. And I think at the time I had like $300 worth of Bitcoin and I put it in there, left it there for a couple of months. And literally when I totally forgot about it, but when I went back into it, that $300 went up to close to $900 just over a couple of months. And so literally ever since that day, I've been really excited about cryptocurrency and also the blockchain side as well, which is pretty exciting. But I know a lot of people always, they're curious as to why get into this space. And I always like to kind of touch on the fact that when you look at, the evolution of money and, what money has looked like over the years, you can see that it's really been changing quite a bit. And just like everything else, right, everything is shifting online. And so it's only natural that we have a currency that's digital as well. And so a lot of people are realizing that there's a lot of limitations when it comes to, fiat currency. especially when it comes to how it's managed or how you're able to actually use your funds, right? There's so many limitations on how much you can send to somebody, how much you can spend a day or even per week, right? And so people are really shifting to crypto to be able to have that freedom and really own their own money the way that they want. And so when we think about cryptocurrency and the industry itself, right, most people only really know about Bitcoin. Sometimes people know a little bit about Ripple or Ethereum as well. But realistically, there's over 2,300 different cryptocurrencies and counting, right? Anybody realistically can create their own cryptocurrency, which is really, really interesting. And so when we look at Bitcoin, right, that is just the first and the largest cryptocurrency to date, came out in 2009, and is amazing in the sense where, of course, it's growing rapidly. Even if you look at the growth over the years, or even, this year alone, things have been growing really, really quickly. And so people are already using Bitcoin, accepting it. There's tons of different organizations and companies, from the NBA to even here in Toronto, some cities actually accept Bitcoin for property tax. So there's lots of opportunities for people that are looking to do transactions in cryptocurrencies, more so Bitcoin. But you will see over the years, as adoption happens and people start to hear about it a little bit more, there will be more opportunities for those type of transactions to happen. And that's the part that's really exciting. But one thing I do want to mention as well, when it does come to the cryptocurrency space, one term that is really important is decentralized, the decentralization. And you will, start to hear a little bit more about this and, the importance of it, because this is really what is allowing us to really have the freedom when it comes to, our cryptocurrencies, right, and our money, right? So centralized, of course, platforms or systems is where, all the power is really owned by one entity, right? But when we look at decentralized, right, which, a lot of the cryptocurrencies are, or the whole idea around it is that, instead of it being controlled by one party, it's controlled by many. And essentially, that just literally means that the power is put back into the hands of the people, which is really, really exciting. And I know it's a lot of information as well. Feel free for sure to leave any questions in the chat, of course. I'd be happy to answer any questions. But to kind of dive into Bitcoin and Ethereum, two really, really exciting projects that a lot of people are excited about. They have a lot of similarities and they have a lot of differences as well. And so, yes, they are both cryptocurrencies that you can use as an actual currency, right? Bitcoin, however, is solely a currency, right? A means of exchange for goods and product services, right? And so when we look at Ethereum now, which honestly, I'm really excited about Ethereum, it's also a currency as well, but it also has ledger technology as well, which simply means people can actually use that technology to build other programs and projects on. And so there's actually tons and tons of different projects that have been built on that technology, on Ethereum. And so a lot of people kind of look at the differences between the two. Yes, Bitcoin has been doing phenomenal. It's been growing rapidly over the past couple of years, and it will continue to do so. However, some people underestimate the power of Ethereum and where it's going to be going over the years. And so one of the things that really excites me is the fact that, Ethereum, so many projects are being built on it, and that's where the value really is, that you're going to start to see over the next few years as other projects that have been built on Ethereum start to really, fulfill their larger purpose. Some of the projects are, really, really big that are going to be changing the way that we do business in so many different areas, right? So when you have something that's that valuable, right, the value, of course, will increase. And so I really do believe that you're going to see a big jump when it comes to Ethereum over the next few years, just because so many companies, so many projects and cryptocurrency projects are actually using and being built on the Ethereum platform. Okay. And I am going to show you as well one resource that I personally use Let's see, I'm just gonna switch my screens here. Let me know if you guys have any questions. I know it's quite a bit of information.
I would
Let's
like
see.
to ask you a question actually. So,
For sure.
yeah, I want to know because you just said that a lot of cryptocurrencies are basically kind of based on Ethereum.
Mm-hmm.
So, what would be the like? Why, for instance, if you look at Bitcoin, why are
Yes.
they're gonna have like many cryptocurrencies in the future? In the sense that if Bitcoin exists, why everyone is not gonna move towards Bitcoin instead of creating new cryptocurrencies on top of Ethereum?
For sure. It really just goes back to the project itself. Like I said, anybody really can create their own cryptocurrency, but it really goes back to who are the people that are working on that project, who are a part of it, right? What is their background? Do they understand the industry, right? And as I mentioned, like Bitcoin is great, right? It's the first one, and the market cap is huge. However, it's still just a currency. And so when you look at Ethereum, that yes, it does have a currency component, but you can actually build on that platform, right? It just expands what's possible for it. And that's why you have a lot of organizations, a lot of projects that are actually using the Ethereum blockchain just to be able to use and release their projects as well. And so even for myself, when it comes to an investment perspective, because of my belief as well in Ethereum, I'm always looking at different projects on that platform, or that are using that platform in terms of their projects. Right. And so you're going to see over the next few years, a lot of those projects are going to be growing quite a bit. So of course, the market overall is still very volatile, still pretty shaky. But in the long term, which, in crypto, you have to have a long-term vision, long-term strategy, you are going to see some really big movements when it comes to Ethereum. But that's a really good question. Okay, perfect.
Just
And
just to
so,
add just to add a little bit
mhm,
to your answer about that is also the fact or the idea of marketing, because as you know, multiple companies, they have these reward programs where they want to reward you as a certain type of reward for you for working with them, and they give you like credit cards or stuff like that are specific to their company. So it's also the same idea that they can also do cryptocurrencies, they can crypto companies, they can also do to maintain their clients by giving you a specific cryptocurrency of their own. They kind of have more power or believe in having you as their customer. You will still have to purchase Bitcoin before you
mhm,
buy those small currencies, but
correct.
when you have those currencies, they believe in you having you as a really strong customer.
That's correct. That's right. That's a very good point. That's awesome. Thank you for bringing that up. And I always say as well, like as you mentioned, there's lots of different projects that are rewarding their clients, rewarding their customers with different cryptocurrencies as well. And so that also makes me think about like one thing I always tell my clients, customers, or anybody, like when it comes to making money in crypto, there's essentially only three ways, right? The first one, of course, is cryptocurrency investing, which similar to investing in stocks, right? It's a long-term strategy. Just buy, hold, let it appreciate over time. And then the second way is cryptocurrency trading, right? Which is another great idea, especially for those that do leverage trading. You can actually make money on the cryptocurrency, or let's use Bitcoin. You can make money whether Bitcoin goes up or if it actually goes down. So you can actually make money both directions, which is really, really unique. And then the last way, similar to what you had mentioned, is being able to actually earn cryptocurrency. And there's actually so many different ways to actually take advantage of platforms or methods that are willing to pay you, even on a month-to-month basis, right? Cryptocurrency. And I know a lot of people are kind of excited looking at, there's been a lot of talk about ways to be able to start staking Ethereum, which is supposed to be coming in the future. So we're really excited about that as well. But as I mentioned, those are the three areas you really want to focus on if you're looking to really take advantage of crypto and try to make some money with it as well. But yes, this is one platform that I personally use quite a bit in terms of looking at the different cryptocurrencies that are out there. It's called CoinGecko.com, similar to CoinMarketCap if you guys have ever heard of that as well. And so literally this platform lists you the top 100 cryptocurrencies based on market cap as well. And so as you can see, of course, Bitcoin is number one, Ethereum is number two. And you can see that if you kind of keep your eye on it from time to time, you'll see that, of course, the cryptocurrencies, the top 10 even tend to switch quite a bit here and there. But this is a phenomenal resource to use, especially if you're looking to invest in different cryptocurrencies and you want to get some more information about them. I know one cryptocurrency that I am really, really excited about, and I'll show you here, is called Polkadot. This one had some great movement as well, and is also created on the Ethereum blockchain as well, which is amazing. But like I said, there's lots of different cryptocurrencies out there. But what I love about this website specifically is once you click on a cryptocurrency, it actually will tell you and give you some details. So the website, if you're looking to actually get more information about, who's involved, the leaders, their roadmap as well in terms of their projects that they're working on. And if you're looking to, of course, be able to exchange or buy those cryptocurrencies, as soon as you click on markets, it'll actually show you where you can actually purchase that cryptocurrency. And so you can see, especially for this one, there's lots of different methods to be able to actually purchase it and be able to actually get more information on it, which is really, really exciting. But yes, there are tons and tons of different cryptocurrencies. But I think right now, the trend, of course, there's a few different trends, of course, that's going on now. But a lot of things are switching towards DeFi. And if you also see at the top here, there is some more information about that in this market and this trend as well. So it is, as you can see, let me scroll down a little bit more. Awesome. So DeFi, for those that may not be too familiar, is really just talking about decentralized finance. And a lot of that as well, like I said, you have to have Ethereum to be able to really participate on these platforms, right? And even when it comes to, as I mentioned, being able to earn cryptocurrency, depending on the platform you're using, you actually have to at least own some, Ether, right, in order to actually be able to earn cryptocurrency with it. So everything is really starting to be very dependent on having Ethereum or Ether. So you can really see that the value is there. Right? Every platform is really requiring that. And even when they do decide to launch their Ethereum staking program, you will have to have Ethereum in order to do so. So I think, of course, Bitcoin is great, and it will continue to be great, and it will continue to be one of the top currencies, cryptocurrencies out there. But when it comes to, the possibilities, the opportunities in terms of the projects that are really out there, everything is really being built on Ethereum. So just something to think about. It's still very, very exciting. But I definitely recommend everybody doing their research, taking some time to just look at some of the projects out there. But yes, let me know if anybody has any questions regarding any of that information.
Actually, I have a question. Would like to know, is there any way to, looking at all of those cryptocurrencies with screeners or something like that we use for stocks, or I don't know if there is a way that you use or strategy or, yeah.
For sure. I guess you're referring to more so when I'm looking at investing in cryptocurrencies, like if there's a method or a strategy towards it.
Yeah, exactly. Just because there is so many projects. I know that we can go over all of them and read about all of them, but at the same time might be really time consuming. So is there a way that you use to maybe like filter out some cryptocurrencies if you want to like do investment in them?
For sure. Some of the main strategies that I personally use is, the first thing is resources in terms of going out there, seeing what people are talking about, whether it's different newsletters that are talking about different projects, or, make sure that you're tuned in with some of the top cryptocurrency influencers or companies or organizations, as well as attending lots of different conferences, because they're always talking about really important projects within the cryptocurrency space. Another thing, especially when I'm going through that list, the most important thing for me is whether or not that project or that cryptocurrency it has a valuable project, right? Is it a project that is, you know, serves a purpose, right? Because like I said, anybody technically can create their own cryptocurrency. And so you want to make sure that what you're investing in or what you're looking at makes sense. And so using the same website that I just mentioned, you can actually go onto that cryptocurrency's website and see who are the people that are involved, what is their background, are they familiar with the cryptocurrency blockchain space, right? Do they have that knowledge? Is it anybody that has a great reputation? And then also, as I mentioned, partnerships as well is another area that I really look at. So whenever I'm looking or studying or doing my research on a particular cryptocurrency, I'm checking to see, do they have any partnerships with any other organizations, right? Because that will tell me that other companies, other organizations see the potential, see the value in what they're doing and are actually partnering up, right? That's where the money's going, towards wherever those partnerships are. And so I always say you do have to always follow the money, right? Because there's so many other industries that are using cryptocurrencies, lots of high players as well, but they don't want to be directly involved, right? So they want to be involved indirectly. So it's always still following, you know, the news, seeing what some of the top investors are doing. And surprisingly, sometimes you'll see that some of the organizations they're working with has some sort of cryptocurrency attached to it. So you just really, of course, have to continue to do your research, but most important thing is stay plugged in to lots of the different stuff that's happening, because the industry changes pretty fast. And like I said, there's tons of different trends that are involved. So hopefully that helps a little bit.
Yeah, thank you.
No problem. So, perfect. And then what I will do as well is I will also share the link as well for the event that I did I think it was last weekend or the week before. I had some speakers talk about different upcoming cryptocurrencies, some of the cryptocurrency trends that are happening. And then one of my good friends as well, which I'm really excited about, he created his own cryptocurrency. It's one of the first cryptocurrencies in Africa. And I'm always really excited hearing people that are really trying to make a difference there as well. And, you know, like they are way ahead of us when it comes to crypto. So there's tons of information there. And I know that you mentioned, Bryce, as well, when it comes to tokenization is something that's really interesting that a lot of people are excited about. So I'll make sure that I do share that information with you guys as well.
Well, that's good. Thank you very much, Ashley. I don't know if you guys have any question. If you have some, you can just write them in the chat. Otherwise, I assume that Ashley, Ashley is in the group. So if you want to contact her directly, if you have any questions, I guess you can just find her in the group and ask her directly. But yeah, thank you very much for that. It was really, really helpful. I also shared the link. I shared CoinGecko as well.
I have a question.
Oh yeah, sorry. Yeah, go ahead, Sandra.
The question is, I don't know anything about cryptocurrency, and when Ashley, you were mentioning about it being, you know, they build projects. I don't understand that part when you say they build projects, and then because they build projects, they create a currency that if you're going to buy things from them, you have to use that currency. Is that what you mean?
Great question. And so there's cryptocurrency, right? Which of course is the currency itself. And there's what they call blockchain technology, which is a technology that is also known as a public ledger, where all the transactions are available to everybody. And so that technology is what people are really using to be able to, you know, create platforms and projects and stuff like that. And so when I mentioned that some organizations or some of the products that you're looking into, especially when it comes to investing, right, what you're actually investing in is a project, right? Think of it almost like crowdfunding in the sense where those projects are, of course, looking for funding, right? And they're looking for people to invest in what they're working on, right? So when you are actually investing your money into those cryptocurrencies, that's essentially what you're doing, right? And then in terms of rewarding you for your investment, that's where you're actually getting that cryptocurrency. So it's a lot of information, especially if you're very, very new to the space. what I would recommend as well is definitely start to look at the very, very basics of the industry, understanding, what Bitcoin really is, how to use it, how to make, exchanges and purchases and stuff like that with it. And then afterwards, definitely dive into the blockchain space, because to be honest, the blockchain, the technology side is the part that excites me the most, because of the opportunities in that space. But yes, it is two separate things. The projects are the technology side, and then the cryptocurrency is the other aspect to it. Hopefully that helps, but great question.
Okay, I will. I'm driving, so I can't really say much. Thank you, though. Okay.
No worries. No worries. Awesome.
And just maybe to add on Ashley's answer on that, look it on the same way as you look at a stock. When you are buying a stock, it's like buying a piece of a pie. So you are buying a piece of a pie from the big pie, and you own that pie. There is a limited amount of cryptos that they can deliver. So when you own it, it is yours. If you keep it in a wallet, it is yours. And as long as the company excels, the value of that part that you own uh, increases as well. So it's a pie. Think of it of a stock that you own. It's not really a stock, but it's a part of the company that you own too.
Correct. That's right. I just shared another slide that I have here. A lot of this slides that I use is mainly when I do a lot of different workshops and stuff like that. But I always like to show this one because it kind of gives you an idea of how cryptocurrency is similar to some of the investments that we already know of, right? So when we look at gold and how cryptocurrency is similar to that, right? A lot of the cryptocurrencies have limited supply, and so that's what really drives the value of it, right? Compared to, of course, fiat or the regular, Canadian or US dollar. Technically, just like right now, they can print more and more and more, and that's what really, decreases the value of the dollar, right? So that's one of the biggest things to kind of keep in mind, as well as their lack of federal control, right? The government can't say, or anybody else can't say that they want to try to control Bitcoin or control any of the cryptocurrencies, right? Because as I mentioned, right, cryptocurrency is really giving the power back to the people, which is really interesting. And so even when we think about how it's similar to stocks as well, similar to what the gentleman said, right? It's like you're buying into that startup. But keep in mind, there is still some differences, right? When you think about crypto and stocks, because it's like buying a stock, but you don't actually own any shares in that organization, that company, right? But you're still able to benefit and make money or profit from the growth of that organization, which is really great. And then they do also have, similar to, IPOs, they have their version of an ICO, which is initial coin offering as well. But there are lots of similarities between cryptocurrency and some of the other traditional investments out there, just slightly different.
So this is Sandria again. So when you buy, invest in this project, one thing, I don't know what projects are good. That's one. Number two, when you invest in these projects and then say, how do you earn the money? Like, is it because it grows in value? What does it compare to?
Correct. Yes, good question. So literally you said it right. It grows in value. So when I was giving that example, like when I first started in cryptocurrency and I bought, I believe it was $300 worth of Bitcoin at the time, right? I had $300 and then months went by, I totally forgot about it. But when I went back in there months later to check on it, that $300 went up to close to $900. And so it's not that I added more to it or did anything, because literally I just bought it and left it there. But the value of Bitcoin increased. And so what I had in my wallet increased also. So that is the thing that's just really, really exciting, because the value of it is constantly changing. And now keep in mind, cryptocurrency is still very volatile. So yes, if it goes down, right, you're losing, or it's decreasing in value. But if it's increasing, of course, then you're also increasing whatever you have in terms of that cryptocurrency asset, it's also increasing in value. So essentially, that's how you're really able to take advantage of that investment, especially if it's a long term. Because I always say, especially when you're investing in crypto, it's definitely more of a long-term strategy. But essentially, once the value goes up, that's how you're able to profit in that sense. Does that make sense?
Yeah, that makes sense. I mean, I guess you have to know when to put it in and take it out. As if you're on the market, like say it's going up, is it like you have to watch something to take it out if it's going down so the value doesn't go down? Is that how it works?
Yeah, that definitely. There are different ways and different strategies to make sure that you can secure your profits without necessarily having to, change it from, let's say, Bitcoin back into Canadian dollars. For an example, there are some cryptocurrencies out there, what they call stable coins. And so these cryptocurrencies don't fluctuate in value as much. They're actually tied to, let's say, the US dollar. And so it's always a 1-to-1 ratio, but it's still a digital currency. And so let's say, you invested in Bitcoin, it went up in value, your investment increased, right? And you want to secure your profits before, let's say, the value decreases. You can literally switch your currency from Bitcoin into one of those stable coins, which, like I said, is just a digital currency that's, 1-on-1 ratio with, let's say, the US dollar, right? And so you can keep it in a digital form, but still maintain your profits and take it out of Bitcoin before, let's say, it fluctuates and go back down. So there's lots of different methods to do that. But it also depends. Like I said, if you're investing, your strategy is long term, right? You can wait 1, 2, even 5 years before you decide to take it out. So it's really up to you as well.
Okay, I see. Interesting. All right. Yeah, I guess it's. Are there strategies in place, and how do you know what projects to buy?
For sure. Yeah, like I said, like this really just goes back to doing your research, of course, and also staying plugged in with people that are in the industry that understand a lot of the trends and understand a lot of the projects in this space as well, because they can kind of give you a heads up in terms of some of the new upcoming cryptocurrencies. But the most important thing is just understanding, does that project actually have a purpose, right? Is it actually a valuable project, right? Because like I said, some projects or some currencies are just like random, right? So you really have to go on the website, see what they're about, see the leaders that are behind there, and also talk to people that are in the space because they can also guide you and let you know and stay up to date with some of the cryptocurrencies out there.
Okay. Great. Thank you very much, Ashley.
No problem.
All right. So yeah, thank you very much for everything, Ashley. And yeah, also, I don't know if eventually you might be able to ask your friend that created the cryptocurrency if you want to maybe talk about it. That would be really interesting, I think. But yeah, thank you very much for that. And as I said, if you guys have any question, you can just join Ashley in the group chat. And hopefully she's going to be able to answer those questions. So thank you very much, everyone, and have a great evening.
Awesome. Thanks, everybody. I'm always here to help.
Okay. Have a good evening. Thank you.
Thank you.